guys, it's Kelly Ray. I just wanted to come on and talk a little bit about how we all sort of think differently and how sometimes we misunderstand each other. There's two really great obvious examples of this in your life probably. If you have a relationship, a spouse or a significant other, there's a good chance that you guys misunderstand each other sometimes in your love languages. There's a really great book called The 5 Love Languages. There's also online quizzes you can take. But that's a really famous, obvious example that I'd like to start with, because I'll just use my own husband and I as an example. Like one of his top love languages is acts of service. So for him, saying things like, can I get you anything? Like, do you need me to do anything? He's showing his love. And for me, my top love language is gifts. So if he buys me things or gives me presents, then I feel loved, right? And so until you do that quiz and you kind of realize like, oh, when he's doing things for me, like cleaning up the kitchen or picking things up for me or offering to do some sort of service, he's being loving. Whereas when I buy him presents, I'm being loving. So the obvious example there, or the obvious problem there, is that he doesn't feel loved when I buy him presents, but I'm loving him in the way that I feel like love should be shown. Does that make sense? And then the other way too, it's like maybe you don't feel loved because you're not getting either words of affirmation or physical touch. Those are two of the other kinds. But that person might be buying you gifts or doing acts of service, and they feel like they're being loving, but you don't feel like you're being loved. So that's one of the main examples, and I like to use personal examples sometimes too, because sometimes it's a lot easier for you to relate in your marriage or at home than it is in a business. But another really good example at work would be if somebody gives you feedback. And I'm going to use an example with one of my clients. I think it happens a lot with my clients because I tend to be really committed to, yes, we can do better. So even though somebody might be already doing really well, I'm always looking for that next thing that we can do to increase their profit, to achieve their goals, to make us better, to make clients happier, to make staff happier, to increase our revenue, to increase profit. I'm always sort of looking for that next thing. So my brain is sort of geared to, yes, but what can we do better? And that's not always easy on people, because sometimes they just want to be acknowledged for what they've already done, right? So from my perspective, I'm thinking, oh, we could do this better. Oh, we could do that better. Here's another way for you to make more money. Here's another way for you to improve your customer satisfaction scores. Here's another way for you to make your staff happier. And so from my point of view, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, oh, this will make you better. This will make you better. And then from their point of view, sometimes they're thinking, oh my gosh, like when is she going to give me a high five? Like what else is wrong with me? And unless you communicate to the other person, I'm not feeling loved, or I'm not feeling appreciated, or I feel frustrated, the other person doesn't know. So you really have to just talk to each other, okay? That's the solution to all this. You just need to talk, and you just need to tell people how you're feeling, because in your work relationships, your home relationships, with your clients, with your coworkers, with your staff, with your spouse, with your kids, with your brothers, sisters, everybody, they don't know how you're feeling because they don't think the same way as you. All of us are the sum total of our experiences and what we make of them, and so our brain just works the way that our brain works based on our lives and the things we've learned and the decisions we've made. But it does not work the same as anybody else that you're talking to. So for me, I'm trying really hard to try to get where my clients are coming from, try to acknowledge them more and let them know, like, you know what, you've done so great. And I'm always looking for that next, bump in profit for you, or that next bump in engagement. So here's another thing we can do. But I don't realize that they don't feel unappreciated or unacknowledged, or maybe even sometimes criticized or like poked a little too hard, unless they tell me, right? So yes, of course, it's my job to be observant and aware and try to understand how other people are thinking. But if I don't tell them where I'm coming from and they don't tell me where they're coming from, we're never going to understand each other's point of view, because like I said, we just think differently. So if you're having any sort of frustration in any relationship in your life, I just urge you to share about it. Just talk, be like, here's how I'm feeling, here's how I see it. And I guarantee the other person will tell you, well, here's how I see it, and it'll be totally different. So it's kind of amazing that as human beings with all these different experiences and paradigms, that we can have any sort of relationship at all or any communication at all. So I really encourage you to try that in one of your relationships today, and let me know how it goes in the comments below.